Stop once and for all this escalation of radicalism and disobedience. There is still time to avoid bigger problems, and no one benefits from this tension and this atmosphere of defiance in the face of justice and the law.
Barcelona is in a state of unrest, unlike any other time in Spain's 40 years of democracy. Federal police raided a dozen government offices in Catalonia, arresting 14 senior officials. Spain's central government is trying to quash a rising separatist movement that's culminating in an unsanctioned vote for independence. But tens of thousands of Catalans responded. They flooded the streets of Barcelona, calling the National Guard an occupier. Well, joining me now from Barcelona is Oriol Amoros. He's the Catalan government secretary for Equality, Migration and Citizenship. Oriol, good to have you on the Newsmakers again. Madrid is really ramping up the pressure on you and your movement. Is it going to be enough to deter you, to make you stop yourselves from having that vote?
No. First of all, thanks again to phone and to contact with us. And is the reaction that sadly we have expected, because they always said that they don't wanted to hear the voice of the people and the voice of the people by the vote, no? So it's something that we sadly expect that happened. But what we haven't expect is the level of aggressivity, of pressure, because they have arrested people who have no criminal records, who are not delinquents, and who are people that you just need to ask him to go to the court to declare, and these people will go there. You don't have to send police. It's a letter is enough. So the part of the operation more related on make a strong demonstration of force, that is something that we really think that has no measure.
Prime Minister Rajoy has said there is, quote, still time to avoid greater evils. And he's obviously urged Catalan leaders to observe the law. Now, he's suggesting that there might be bloodshed down the line if this goes ahead. Is that how you read it?
Well, it's another threat. He's always saying threats, and it seems that they have only two arguments. One is the lie, and the other is to threaten people. And what we want is let people to decide, let people to speak, let people to debate, let people vote. And so in October 1st, we will vote. That's all I have to say.
Do you agree with those protesters?
It's going to be more difficult.
Certainly. Do you agree with those protesters who have been chanting that the National Guard are an occupation force? Do you agree that they're actually an occupation force?
Yes, they are acting like that. You have to think that nowadays, in Spain, there is a level 4 of terrorist alarm attack. So it's supposed that police should be closer, very close, and to be prepared if any kind of attacks happens. So they're supposed to be near to the airport in Barcelona, in Malaga, in Mallorca, in Madrid. They're supposed to be near the train stations to the main objectives. And they are sending 4,000 people just to control the Catalans, because the Catalans just want to vote. So it's something that we cannot understand, and they are acting like an occupation force, yes, because they are here to attack our right to express our political opinions, and we are supposed to stay in a democracy, so we can accept that kind of actuation, of behavior.
Oriol, are you actually going to have anywhere to vote? Are there going to be any voting centers left, because they seem to be swallowing them all up as we get closer to the end of the month? Where will you hold the vote?
Yes. In the same poll stations that we usually do. So poll stations are there. Poll papers, we cannot explain where they are, because the military police is looking for this sounds ridiculous, and it's a bit, but in fact it's very sad, no? But we have 4,000 military police looking for poll papers, no? So and poll votes, but the poll stations will be there.
Don't you fear, Oriol, that at the end of all of this, because Madrid is showing no room for compromise, don't you fear that at the end of this you will lose both the vote or the opportunity to have the vote, and maybe you will lose your autonomy, everything that was fought for up until now?
Yes. Well, the threat is always there, but in fact, we have a very good autonomy in the spending issues, but not in the incomes. So you have to think that only 2–3% of the incomes of our budget are coming from our own taxes. So in fact, we are a controlled autonomy since many years ago, because Mr. Montoro, the financial minister, is who decides where you have to cut when you have to cut, and where you have to spend when you can spend. So yes, we have formal autonomy. We have the responsibility in many issues, in many fields. We know how to manage a government in the health system, education system, also security system. And we have, in spending, we have a high level of autonomy, but the incomes are always controlled. So it's difficult to lose autonomy when you cannot decide where to spend your money. So of course, it's worst if they want to do, but it's only a matter of time. I think the future is on our side. There is a huge majority of the Catalans who want to vote. Then the question about independence is more divided. There are people in favor and people against, and we just want to count it and let that the majority wins. And if the majority of the Catalans say no, we will accept it with no problem. But there is a huge majority who wants to vote. And the only plan, the only political plan that Mr. Rajoy has offered to us is to control us by the force. So they have to think that really in the 21st century, in a European country, you can't decide to just control through the force. This is a political plan. This is something that can happen for a long period of time. So we think that we will vote on October the 1st and we will win, and we will make a proposal to Spain to have a dialogue and a conversation and a way to build independence in a way that it doesn't hurt the Spanish economy or European economy. But if our will doesn't happen, it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time, because when people have proved liberty, they don't forget it. So there is a huge majority who wants to vote, and it will happen. We think in October the 1st, but if it's not this time, next time would be soon.
And just practically speaking, I have less than 30 seconds left, so very briefly, please, sir, to our international audience in the English language who see clashes at the moment and think that maybe the vote won't go ahead, and see that Madrid's saying the vote shouldn't go ahead. To be absolutely clear, at all costs, are you going to have this vote on October the 1st?
The only cost we are not going to accept is violence. Our movement is really committed with non-violence. So we are going to do everything to vote, but violence. We are very committed with non-violence way to do things.
Oriol Amoros, once again, a pleasure having you on the Newsmakers. I thank you very much for taking the time.